U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who has had a series of health scares, underwent non-surgical treatment for a gallbladder condition on Tuesday and was resting comfortably, a court spokeswoman said. Ginsburg, 87, had a gallstone that had caused an infection and was treated at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, spokeswoman Kathy Arberg said in a statement. Ginsburg is expected to participate in the court's oral arguments on Wednesday remotely from the hospital. Tests following the court's oral arguments on Monday morning showed that Ginsburg was suffering from a gallstone that had migrated to her cystic duct, a tube that empties the gallbladder, blocking it and causing an infection, Arberg said. Ginsburg is expected to stay in the hospital for a day or two, she said. The court's oldest justice has had a host of health issues in recent years. In November 2018, she broke 3 ribs in a fall. Subsequent medical tests led to treatment for lung cancer that caused her to miss oral arguments in January 2019. She returned to the bench, but said in August that she had received radiation therapy to treat pancreatic cancer. Most recently, Ginsburg was admitted to a hospital in November for 2 nights suffering from a fever and chills, but returned to work at the court the day after being released. The health of the liberal justice is closely watched because a Supreme Court vacancy would give Republican President Donald Trump the opportunity to appoint a 3rd justice to the 9-member court and prod it further to the right. The court currently has a 5-4 conservative majority. The Supreme Court this week has been hearing oral arguments by teleconference for the first time in its history in response to health concerns raised by the coronavirus pandemic. Besides, Trump tours new face mask factory in Arizona but doesn't wear one. Without wearing a face covering himself, President Donald Trump toured a new medical mask factory in Arizona on Tuesday, taking a rare trip out of Washington to visit a state he hopes to win in the November election even as Americans avoid travel to slow the spread of the coronavirus. Touching down in Phoenix in mid-afternoon, Trump visited a Honeywell International Incorporated factory making N95 face masks for healthcare workers. The facility was rushed into service in less than 5 weeks because of a shortage of the protective equipment. The president did not wear a mask at the factory, even though workers at the facility did, and he told reporters at the White House that he would likely do so. A sign was visible on Trump's tour that read, "Attention, face mask required in this area, thank you." Honeywell Chief Executive Officer Darius Adamczyk spoke before Trump gave remarks. Adamczyk also did not wear a mask. The federal government has encouraged Americans to wear masks to avoid spreading the virus even when not feeling any symptoms of COVID-19, the respiratory disease it causes. Trump has so far declined to wear a mask himself. Trump has sought to give an optimistic view about the country's ability to recover from the virus and is eager for states to reopen businesses whose lockdown closings have crushed the economy and left millions unemployed. In Arizona, Trump also participated in a discussion about supporting Native Americans. He took the opportunity to argue that the U.S. economy should be reopened quickly. Will some people be affected? Yes. Will some people be affected badly? Yes. But we have to get our country open and we have to get it open soon, Trump said. The president confirmed his administration's plans to wind down the White House's coronavirus task force as it focuses a new phase, the aftermath of the pandemic. Stump tour. Asked if he would receive a coronavirus vaccine as soon as one is developed, Trump said he would but also might decide not to if that was deemed better for the country. If there's a vaccine and they wanted me to be first in line, I'd be first in line or I'd be last in line, or I wouldn't take it at all. Whatever's best for the country, Trump said. The location of Trump's first trip out of Washington in weeks was not coincidental. Trump won Arizona in the 2016 election against Democratic presidential nominee and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, but opinion polls show him currently trailing the presumptive 2020 Democratic nominee, former Vice President Joe Biden, in the southwestern state.